Forrester was convinced that the whole world, not just nature, was composed of systems. And he believed that by building his own man-made system, the early warning network, he had identified how all systems stabilize themselves. It was through a mechanism called feedback. What Forrester meant by this was that every action we take has consequences that feed through the system and then return to shape our future behavior in ways we cannot see. But the computers could. They had the power to analyze the true consequences of human actions, what Forrester called feedback loops.
Most people think of action as, here's a problem, I'll take action, and I'll solve it. Straight line. But that's not the system in which we live. There's a problem, we take action, it may change things, it gives us a new environment for taking the next action and changing things, and so we live in these networks of feedback loops that are controlling us and those things that we interact with.
So we're just part of a system?
We're just part of a system. And that is anathema to many people because they like to think of us as people as independent. But basically they are driven in most of their actions by feedback loops, which means physical systems, electrical systems, social systems, political systems, biological systems, internal medicine, medical systems in the body. They are all fundamentally networks of feedback loops.
Forrester was one of the leaders of an ambitious new scientific movement called Cybernetics. Cybernetics said that everything, from human brains to cities and even entire societies, could be seen as systems, regulated and governed by feedback. It fascinated both biologists and physicists because it seemed to offer a new insight into how order is maintained in the world. It also had powerful implications for human beings, because cybernetics saw human beings not as individuals in charge of their own destiny, but as components in systems. At its heart, cybernetics was a computer's eye view of the world. And from that perspective, there was no difference between human beings and machines. They were just nodes in networks, acting and reacting to flows of information. One of the leading cybernetic theorists, called Norbert Wiener, laid this out clearly in a book that became the Bible of the movement. He called it Control and Communication in the Animal and the Machine.
If, as Norbert Wiener and his team decided, you can actually link the behavior of machines and the behavior of fleshy humans through mathematical formulae, and if you can model those formulae and predict those formulae using computers, then you end up in a world where humans and machines seem to be one. They can glimpse the deep cybernetic truth, one in which natural, mechanical, and social systems are seen as one another, human linked together in a man-machine system. We are all now part of a universal system linked together by information.
And cybernetics transformed the idea of the ecosystem, because it seemed to explain how ecosystems stabilized themselves. They did it through feedback. It would lead ecology to rise up and become one of the dominant sciences of the 20th century.